Hello, and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses, your home for all sorts of Leicester City content. And tonight it is very much that, your home to all things Leicester City. We have the live call-in show, as always, as promised, every single Monday night. And later on at 9 o'clock, we have the live Deadline Day Live. So I hope you enjoyed the background. It's going to stay there. Let's just leave it there tonight. And when there's a gap between callers, that is what we will see. And Neil, mate, what's going on? How you doing today, mate?
How can you not be depressed? It's transfer deadline day. Normally, it's one of the most hyped days of the year, and there's plenty of transfers going on. But I tell you where the transfers aren't going on. They're not going in the Rudconomics at Leicester City, which is rather depressing because it really feels like the white flag has been raised. So, not the best. How about you, Lux? How are you doing on this Monday night?
Oh, well, you know what? It's it's shit, but just like how it has been for the last few weeks in the football, at least I get to spend it with some great people. So and not just you guys, and not just Manny later, and Doc and Josh and all the people that are going to be helping us out on the Deadline Day Live. Of course, the people in the chat and the people who are going to call in as well right now. So I think people are just wanting to talk about the transfer market, and maybe they're looking forward to the Deadline Day stream later. And the reason I think that is because the call-in show is actually relatively quiet compared to usual. So this is your best chance, everybody watching, to get an early call. So if you want to call, the link is in the chat. It's also on Twitter. It's in the description of the video. Click that link. Come and have your say about whatever you want. Okay. Let's get straight into it. And welcoming in Charles to the Rudkinomics. It's hard. It's not the easiest thing to say. The Rudkinomics. Charles from the Dallas Foxes is going to be in first. So let's get him in. How you doing, mate?
Good. How you doing, guys?
All good, mate. How you doing?
Good. Did you guys get banned by UEFA? Did they get pulled up for showing something last week?
They're very tight on their copyright. UEFA are, mate. They are very tight.
We didn't get banned. At it and it's like blocked. Or
yeah, the video just got temporarily taken down, but it's still there. Well, actually, there's no point in watching it now. It's all about transfers, and we're not getting any, so don't watch the video. How's it going, Charles, mate? What are your thoughts now, mate, on the transfer window? Because it's looking pretty bleak.
Yeah, Spurs are spending money, not us, but anyway, they're trying to get them. Putting in bids for everybody. We did, I guess we expected nothing's going to happen. Maybe 2 loans we're allowed from Europe. That's not going to happen. So we've got to deal with what we got, which is not good enough, I don't think, unfortunately. It was a hammering. It really was. I mean,
yeah,
you can take 2-0 maybe, but it's Everton. 6 seconds and 2 down in 6 minutes. It's just abysmal. And here we go again. So. Yeah, I'm hanging in there, but I'm not optimistic anyway.
Well, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the opportunity from this pause in the conversation to quickly, obviously, just bring this comment up. And for the first time on tonight's 2 shows, I'm just going to play this because you're going to be seeing a lot of this tonight. We hope not, but I think so. So here it is. There we go. There's the first
Filmed
one.
Filmed in Texas, just down the road. That's it. It's 26 degrees C here now. 26 degrees in February the 3rd.
Yeah. No, if anybody knows anything about this channel, it's that when promises are made, they are stuck to. And I promised the tumbleweed, so there we go. But yeah, mate, Charles. I mean, let me ask you this, Charles. I'm sure you've seen the news today about a McAteer bid turned down for I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen it?
No, I didn't see that one. No.
So do you know the full details of what it was exactly, Neil, that they offered, mate?
Okay, it's an interesting one. There's one that said it was like 10 million, but we don't know. It was like obligation, but I'm not sure if the obligation was if they got promoted or not. So that's the only thing that's a bit we don't know, because I think everyone's saying, "I'll snap their hands off it," but it might be like the Fatawu one, where the Fatawu one was an obligation, but only if we got promoted.
So who is it? Sheffield United again, or
Sunderland this time round? I think he's been linked to quite a few times. They've got a long interest in Casey McAteer, which is interesting.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Because I said, was it Alves was going to go somewhere, Cardiff or something? Did he go?
He has gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that we're actually quite happy about, Charles, because it doesn't seem like he's going to get used, and I think he's better off playing somewhere than nowhere, right?
Yeah. I just can't believe he's not even. I mean, he was on the bench once, I think, or twice, and came on for 10 minutes, and that's not going to do any good. I mean, I think he's quality. I haven't seen a lot of him, but when I do see him, he seems, he should be given a chance. He's not 17 years old. He's mid-20s.
Yeah.
But yeah, he needs to. Obviously, Van Nistelrooy is not doing that, so he's sticking with what he got. But anyway, I'm glad we're talking about transfers and not Saturday. Saturday was a beating. I mean, 6 seconds. I actually missed it because I was looking at my beer. I was like, and then I thought, oh, we scored. Oh shit, they scored. Another route one, straight down the middle, bounce, let it bounce, and it's like total chaos in it. So
yeah,
sorry.
It happens sometimes, doesn't it? Though I mean, I remember going to watch a game against Man City once. The year Lampard was there. Was it the year before we won the league? Maybe was it the year we the Great Escape? I can't remember when it was, but we played Man City, or we might have played in the cup. One of the two, anyway. We played them either in the league or in the cup, and yeah, I was like 2 minutes late to the game, and he scored in the second minute, and I missed it. So it's like great. Well. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, Anil, I know you're going to be doing your analysis, mate, but it was shocking when it. Was it now? No, because I know you've probably looked a bit further into it at this point. Is it the worst of the season?
Yeah, in my opinion, it's not just the worst of the season. I think it's one of the worst, maybe even of all time. The reason why is you concede after 6 seconds. So you've conceded the first kick of the game. Then do you know what? Don't concede just before the stroke of half time. Guess what we did? Then you would say, don't concede at the end of the game. Try and at least win the second half or get a clean sheet. Didn't do that. Disaster after disaster. Some of the defending is utterly shambolic. You'll see better at Sunday league level. Awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the way out now, because we're not going to sign anybody meaningful. So I don't know what we're going to do. It's not looking good. I was hoping we'd claw something back against Everton, but Wolves was the bad game. We should have done something there, a fellow relegation contender. And then Everton, if we'd won, we would have got close to them. But now a 4-0 drubbing, they've gone. So it's 3 out of 4. And I got a feeling it's the 3 that came up going to go down, just like last year, unfortunately. But
yeah.
Wolves are looking pretty good. I think they turned down a bid for that guy, like, what's his name, star guy? I think somebody's bidding for them.
Yeah,
they turned that down. They need to. But yeah, interesting. So
I'm a little bit disappointed that Anil. Do you remember when Steve Cooper was sacked and he waved his Leicester City flag? I'm surprised he hasn't spray painted it.
It's
white.
My white flag, although it's just a tissue
go.
on a pen. That's all I could come up with in the time that we've got left. But that's what it feels like. That's what the club's doing. That's why everyone's utterly depressed, not even having a go. At least in 2022, we made those 3 signings towards the end. Like, look at all the other teams. I think we're going to be left as one of the only teams that has done nothing really on deadline day.
Well, back in 2022, it was the last game of the season. I think we're going to be relegated.
Yeah.
Way before
Forest is the 3rd game from last this season. You can put money on it. I'll go and bet on it right now. It's almost inevitable.
I can't believe that 7 against Brighton. 7.
Yeah, mate. It's actually mental. Some of the score lines as well. But Charles, mate, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for calling as always, mate. But please. Stay tuned because we've got our deadline day stream later, mate. You might get some breaking news.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
right, guys.
breaking news. Lots had a Peroni. Cheers. See you in a bit, Charles. Okay. Before we get our next guest in, which is Ross, he was second in the queue. Just another reminder, guys. This is the live call-in show, as always, till 8 o'clock, but at 9 p.m. Although this deal doesn't look like it's happening now, we've had to change this thumbnail 3 times. I might just have to have it blank in there. There's no players on it. But this stream will be happening.
Look at Cody's face on there as well. That just sums up how we're all feeling. Utter contempt and disgust there.
Yeah. But that's happening 9 o'clock, and we will be going all the way through with loads of different guests. So stay tuned for that one. Right. Clibo's disappointed, mate. Click the link to Clibo. Come and have your say, mate. Let us know. Right. Up next is Ross. Say his name and he will appear. There we go. Here he is. What's going on, mate?
World Live Crazy Rookinomics. Reminds me of John Cena. You know what? Right, I want you to do a countdown for me. Right, by the time it takes me to pour this glass of drink a minute. Right.
Could you have not done this before you came on, Ross?
Right, I want you to count.
Right, okay, go. All right, ready?
3, 2, 1, go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why? 8 seconds. Tell us why.
Because that's how many seconds it took for Everton to score.
You tit. Tell us what you
So
thought,
there's a lot of
mate.
things
Go on,
you
tell
can
us how
do
you
in
feel.
There's a lot of things you can do in 10 seconds. Pour a drink, go for a wee, load your PlayStation up. You can finish in 10 seconds. And now we conceded in 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? I was at the game, as you might have seen my clips or anything. It was awful. Like, I get it all the time. It's a bit weird, but no. Literally, I went outside, getting the crowd going, Leicester, turn me head, boom, next minute, Becco scoring. I was like, what is going on? 10 seconds, it's madness. I mean, I know it was the Royal Rumble that night, and there's a countdown of 10 seconds. But come on,
Go on, Ross, answer me this, because I know you're a big wrestling fan, mate. Out of all the players in the Leicester City squad, who would win the Royal Rumble?
Well, after watching it, do you know what? I don't know if you've seen a clip. There's a guy called I Show Speed.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, of course.
So
He got absolutely speared. Yeah.
Within the space of 30 seconds, he went from being us last week against Tottenham and eliminating, doing a backflip, doing his suey thing, and then getting absolutely speared the crap out of by Bron Breakker in regards to Everton.
What's your answer out of all the Leicester squad?
I would have to go. There's a guy called Ludwig Kaiser who got eliminated within 6 seconds.
No, which of the Leicester?
Oh, sorry.
Which of the Leicester squad?
Describers.
Canal.
I would say Faz or Vestergaard.
Okay. I think Vestergaard would make a.
But by the time we've run back to defending, it's next week's game. Because that was horrendous defending. Honestly, it was tragic. Now, obviously, a lot of people know the fact that I like Vestergaard, not because of FIFA. But honestly, end of the day, there's still a long way to go. But I mean, it's ridiculous. But just to make it clear, by the way, 1,300 tickets, by the way, was not even sold for the game on Friday against Manchester United. Just to remind people, £51 to £61. Now, if they'd have known about the result, and people are actually going, I hope they can get the money back.
Yeah.
Because that display is the worst of the season. I don't think anything's going to top that.
Ross, is there sugar in that Pepsi, mate? Because I feel like you've gone through about 10 subjects in the space of about 20 seconds. I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
Number, to be fair.
Right, I want to know this, Ross. I want to know this, mate, because I always accuse you of sitting on the fence, right? I always accuse you. You haven't done that recently, but what do you make to the fact that we have not made any other signings since Woyo Koulibaly?
Well, I was surprised. You go all through the last so many January transfer windows. Yeah. Last year, we're about to get one. Other sources said he was signed when he wasn't. We're not the Sun newspaper. We don't display fake news, right? Then the year before, we signed Ronan Keaton. Obviously, we signed the lankiest person ever, the Scottish Australian. And then we signed the one game wonder Tete. Within the space of a week, went from a golden steak to a pork scratching. Trying to think who else did we sign? Yeah, we still had Danny Ward as the number one goalkeeper. The year before, what was it? 2021 was it? No, 2022. Who did we actually sign in the year where we still had Rodgers as manager? Not the year we got relegated. The year of 2022. Nobody.
When? Sorry.
No, we didn't make any.
2021, 2022.
Ryan Bennett.
No, that was the previous year.
That was in the Champions League. Well, Champions League nearly season.
No one then.
Exactly. 2020, the COVID season. 2020.
Ryan Bennett. That was Ryan Bennett. Yeah.
Did we sign anybody? No. The year 2019, 2020. That was Gordon Bennett. That one. 2019, 2020. Nobody. The only time we've made a decent January signing, bizarrely, was when we won the league. with Daniel
No.
and Marte.
No. We signed Yuri Tielemans on
Yuri
loan in
Tielemans, Wilfred
18-19.
Ndidi.
That was 2017.
2018.
Well, you think about it. You
2018.
You think about the Ryan. Yeah, exactly. Someone's put in comments. Gordon Bennett was 5 years ago. Ndidi, 2017. Out of that signed him. 2016, we had Daniel Amarte and Damari Gray. Just to make this clear, by the way, they've won the Premier League. Say what we want about Damari Gray and Daniel Amarte. Them two have won a medal and they contributed to winning something or doing something well for that team. You look at the players that we've signed in January transfer windows. Before that, obviously, we had Mahrez and that. We're not going to go to it, and it was only worth 60 million. But, all the other players, Ndidi is probably the only one I can think of. Tielemans was a loan. Technically, if you're on about buying players, not loans.
Yeah.
The last person we actually properly signed, realistically, was probably Ndidi in 2017.
Well, I mean, you could say Victor. I mean, he plays every game for us now, right? And it was last year.
Yeah, but hang on. There's a difference between playing and actually being good. Come on.
Right, Ross.
It's awful.
Ross, last question for you, mate.
Yeah.
Because you do like to try and remain optimistic. Yeah. If we end today with just no signings, which it looks like it's going to be, do you think we will stay up or not?
No.
No. Okay.
Absolutely not. There's more chance, honestly. There's more chance of you getting replaced, Locks, than staying up. I was, what I forgot his name with the nice onesie. I forgot his name with glasses. Who comes on the show?
Clibbo.
No, other one. His son.
Reese.
I swear.
Reese.
All right. I need confirmation. I swear he was sat in front of me the other day.
Well, we'll ask. Well, he's not on tonight, but we'll ask his uncle Reese.
Yeah,
we'll ask his uncle, mate.
Yeah, it was the worst game ever. The fans were terrific, despite obviously we was crap. It's that bad. We were singing Ulloa, Matty Fryer, Lloyd Dyer, Abora,
Rodkin, Whelan.
Well, I'm not going to go into that one because
I know.
Not past the watershed. But all I'm going to say
maybe later.
Is,
hey, me and Manny will be singing it at 11 o'clock. Mate. Don't worry.
Listen, don't get your hopes up about signing a player. There's,
We're not.
It's basically like when you go on a date, you get your hopes up. You think, oh, get your aftershave on and get your head. Well, the hair I've got, the hair you got, all that just to get stood up at the bar, and then you have to pay for their drink. So absolutely no chances of signing. If there's a signing, Locks, I will personally message you and donate something to Blue Tinted Glasses.
All right, mate. I look forward to it. I look forward to it at 10 o'clock, mate. Right. I'll let you go, Ross. Thank you so much, mate. Thank you for calling. Cheers, mate. Right. Up next it's going to be Ryan. It is Ryan. Let's get Ryan on. Hello, mate. What's going on?
I'm good, Locks. And Neil, how are you guys?
All good.
Depressed.
Yeah. Very depressed. Yeah.
Not great, is it?
What do you make to all, Ryan? I mean, Ben's asked here, why the hell did we reject that bid from Sunderland for Casey? I mean, I imagine it's because they haven't got a replacement lined up yet, but what do you think to it?
Well, it's not a surprise, really. The Casey McAteer deal being rejected, but I think it just sums up how bad the recruitment is regarding our football club. And it's a surprise, really, that we're not going to be making any more signings. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think we're gonna. None of us. I don't think any of us are expecting anything. This tonight. That's why we've got tumbleweed and Rudkinomics and all that. Just obviously while we're on it, Anil. I mean, what are your actual thoughts on it? I know you mentioned it a little bit there with Charles, but
I am genuinely shocked because it doesn't make any sense. Why did we sack a manager? The logic in sacking Steve Cooper and bringing Rude in is it's going to come in December. It's going to be a bit rough, but we're going to hit January. New manager. We want to back the new manager with signings, not the old one, because he's lost the dressing room. We'll get 2 or 3 signings, and then we've got a chance of staying up. That's what everyone was thinking. That's why I was so happy. That's why I was sitting there happy as Larry, waving my flag like an idiot, right? But instead, what have we done? So we basically got rid of a manager, signed the manager who had no managerial experience. He's probably lost the dressing room already. And then we're not going to make any more signings. Everyone else is making signings. And now we're just going to get relegated. And then in between that, we also sold a player that might even be good next season in Tom Cannon. I'm just not seeing the logic. Is it just me? I'm just not seeing the logic.
No,
Don't get me wrong. I can understand us not making signings, but if we weren't going to make any signings, then what was the point in doing all of that? So I am shocked because I just thought, don't get me wrong, you didn't have to be crazy, but I thought we'd probably get one signing, 20 to 25 million. You know, that doesn't mean it would keep us up. We could easily have signed the player and still got relegated. But this is, like I say, it's just, you're going to limp biscuit, mate, going down to the championship without a fight. Sorry, that was my rant for the night.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a nightmare, isn't it, Ryan? It's a nightmare.
Yeah, absolute nightmare, and it actually sums up the incompetence of the board. And this is why John Woodkin has to go, along with Susan Whelan. They're so incompetent.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to work out why Manny's spamming the chat. I don't know what happened.
He's either drunk or angry, or maybe both. Or more likely, he's probably like dropped his microphone on the keyboard, is what I think's happening.
Yeah. Do you think there's any of this in play, right? I mean, from what we're hearing on, from journalists and stuff, it sounds like, no, it is just the PSR that is the issue, right? That the club apparently can't sign players because of PSR. But do you think maybe as well, this could be playing a factor that maybe they have spotted a couple of players that they are interested in, but they don't want to sign for us, maybe? I mean, maybe they see us, we're in free fall. Why would they want to come to us?
Yeah, there's a possibility of that. But there's no denying that there is still money to spend, even though it's limited. But I agree with you, Locks. Maybe it is down to PSR that is playing a part in this, why we're not getting any signings in. But regardless of that, January transfer market, our track record, as you guys alluded to, we don't have a good track record in making signings, really. We don't sign that many.
Yeah, you can always sign players on loan, surely, right? Especially, I know what you're saying, Knox. People wouldn't want to come here, but if you're literally playing no game time and you can go somewhere to play to increase your value, like the agents will be telling you to do that. So there's always players available. So the fact that we can't get anything done is, no, I'm sorry, it's inexcusable.
I mean, I even put a tweet out earlier, and I'm saying that, if we end tonight, which it's looking likely, right, with no players, and I think I said it that if Facundo went back, right, because there were rumours this morning that Facundo might get recalled, although it's since been dispelled that it would have to be Leicester that cancel it because we've gone past the deadline of the recall. But I said if that happened, mate, I'd be telling everybody, and I'd get down there myself, mate. Get down the ground tonight. Get there tonight. I'm saying get down there tonight. Protest tonight. Don't wait for it. But I mean, Anil, I just mentioned, mate, that maybe players aren't interested, but even a Premier League team in freefall, surely he would pick Leicester.
As someone put it, this PSR thing's become an excuse. We just sold a player for 10 million. There's funds in there. You can sign players on loan. 100% you can do it. Not having that. So you can make 2 foreign loan signings if needed to. So I understand if you're not going to sign permanently. I'm sorry, there's no excuse not to sign one player on loan. There's so many comments, people putting it as well, like Marcus Edwards to Burnley. Even Jeff Schlupp's gone up to Celtic. There are players available, right? I'm not saying Jeff Schlupp would have been the answer, to be honest with you. But Marcus Edwards, an exciting winger. Okay, he's inconsistent, but we've been talking about a winger, so not having it. And he's English. He just come in and understand the language immediately. There'd be no settling in period. Used to playing high pressing football under Ruben Amorim and his new manager. So I'm not having it.
Yeah.
And the option to buy is 8 million quid. The loan fee is £1 million. It's like, what? Why?
Madness.
And you know what? You know what's even funny? This isn't me digging you out, Anil, because I thought the same when you said it. I said Marcus Edwards a few weeks ago, and you were like, "Wow, Sporting, he's probably not going to come to Leicester." And now he's at Burnley.
Yeah. Sorry, Locks. You can clip that. That is aged like milk comment from Anil again. Classic.
It was in group chat. Don't worry, it wasn't on air. It wasn't on air. Lastly, for you, Ryan, mate, I'll ask all of the guests the same thing, I suppose, and I think I know the answer. Everyone's going to say the same thing. No signings today. Are we going to stay up? Is there any chance we stay up, Ryan?
Not in a can else chance. Not with that squad. No way in a million years.
I agree. I agree. Greg says it's okay, lads. Some of our fans will still back Rudkin and Co because of past success. Unfortunately, it will happen. Unfortunately, it will. Ryan, mate, thank you for calling. Much appreciated,
Pleasure,
mate. We'll
Ryan.
see you
Yeah,
soon,
good one.
mate.
Welcome.
Cheers. Thank you, Ryan. Okay. I hate all of these below par players we're being linked to. What happened to our ambition? Just to let people know who are watching, this is the order. So we've got Ethan next, then Clibbo, then Hunter, then Joe, and then I think it's Distant 99. So yeah, that's the order of play for tonight. We will end up 20th, Michael says. And I could see it. Even Southampton have strengthened.
I said that when we did the tier list. I said that.
Yeah.
Okay, what's
crazy.
coming in now? Chelsea prepare 45 million offer for Kundo Buonanotte. If Brighton accepts, he could be recalled from Leicester City before deadline day.
Is that actually?
This
is that
from. Yeah, this is from like some Argent. I'll send the link here. You can put it in the private
what
chat.
new?
Yep, there you go. Bring that up.
Oh my god. Bloody hell.
Let's go on. I don't know. I mean, this one's got 63,000 followers, so you know.
I'll bring it up later. Yeah, bloody hell. Well,
Yeah,
there we go.
yeah.
There we go. Right, up next is did I say Ethan? It is.
Yeah, it is Ethan.
Next.
Yeah.
Let's get him in. Ethan, mate, welcome to the Hall of Rudconomics. What's going on?
Oh, you know what? Hey, when I heard Craig Dawson might join Leicester, it just gave me flashback to that Ryan Gunn deal. It's symbolic. It's symbolic from the board. I can't defend him anymore. It's so bad.
It's shocking, isn't it? It's absolutely shocking, mate. And I think Anil just said it a second ago, right? That the excuse being used will be about PSR. It'll be PSR. We can't do it because of PSR, but it's not a good enough excuse, is it?
Not when you're like putting in bids for like Patrick Vimmer and you're looking for a goalkeeper, and then you use PSR as an excuse. It's, pick your poison. But yeah, I don't see anything happening today. Maybe another sale, but I don't see any incomings. It's
Yeah.
I've just seen
Ashley
here,
Young
Tony...
is available. Just throwing it out there.
Oh God. You know what though? It's funny because I saw a tweet I know the Craig Dawson deal isn't happening now, but somebody I sent it to you earlier, didn't I, Neil? Someone 4 days ago on Twitter said, "Don't know why everyone's having a go at the board for the transfer window. We're just waiting for the right 34-year-old injury-prone player to become available." And then 4 days later, when it with Craig Dawson, it's like
psychic.
It's so bad.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's
the
a
thing is,
nightmare.
like, especially when you have Leicester players that are available, so like Ian Nacho, we're looking for a striker, can't get him. He goes to Middlesbrough. I can accept him like going to a mid-table like a Brentford or something, but he's going to Middlesbrough, and you didn't try and get him back. You have Jeffrey Schlupp. People say we need a new left back. You don't get him in. Like, at least make effort. And it doesn't help you go for like these superstars. I know Patrick Vimmer, he's been quite an exciting talent in the Bundesliga. He's not going to come to Leicester. You're going for a guy that plays for AC Milan, challenging for Serie A, and in European competitions, he's not going to come to Leicester. So it's all about, picking your players rightly, and they just don't seem to do that right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's mate. And Neil, I know we've just spoken about it. I'm going to bring it up again because I think it's the epitome of it all, really. The Marcus Edward one. I honestly think because, it's £1 million for 6 months. By the way, we're paying Edward 8 million for the season, or 7 million for the season, which is a joke. But Marcus Edwards, 1 million for a loan, 8 million option to buy or obligation. I think it's an option. Like, I don't get it. Like, as soon as you hear that player is available for that price on a loan, surely somebody out of all the people that work at Leicester City, surely someone said, "Yeah, that's a good option. That's a good option."
Yeah, it makes me think that the accounts must be truly horrific, or maybe I don't know. Maybe they're planning on sacking Van Nistelrooy, so that's why they're not spending money on that. But it's just, it doesn't make sense. It's unacceptable with what's going on. And like I say, it's just the whole logic of the thing is not makes it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys quickly.
Yeah.
would you take a points deduction next season if it means that we like finish 17th to stay up the season? Even if it's like a -10.
That's what we thought we were going to do. That was the rumor, and that would make more sense, because that's another thing that doesn't make sense. If we're just capitulating and giving up, why do we spend all that money on Nick DeMarco for PSR? It's just more money wasted. It just nothing makes sense, Ethan. Like, fair play to you, mate. You're smiling, right? I grin like a Cheshire cat just because it's just hiding the pain underneath, to be honest with you. But it just, if this was a business, there's about 10 people in Leicester City that should be sacked yesterday. Based on what they're doing. And do you know what? One more thing. So this is the point I meant to say. There's no even communication, right? Do you know, if they'd have come out and said, look, I know you guys want us to sign, but we literally can't sign because we're snowed under with PSR. We put everything in to beat the penalties. So this is a squad that we've got. We're going to have to go with it up the Foxes on 1st of January or whatever. And someone actually came up from the club to say that. But instead, they're such cowards. They just put it through Twitter, and Owen Palmer-Atkin and John Percy. They haven't even got the balls to speak to the fans. So that's even worse. And before people say, oh, other clubs don't do it, like Kate, who's in Indonesia at the moment, she texted the group, and Bristol City came up with a statement. And they said, we want to explain our transfer activity in January. And they're like, oh, Rob Edwards, one of our defenders, he's been missing for 4 months, but he's the club captain. So we're not going to sign another defender because we believe in Rob. Like some other signings as well, right? It actually made sense. You might still think it's all baloney and they're making excuses, but at least they had the guts to come out and say that. What's Leicester? Is it just going to be top holding a white flag at the end? That's I don't know. Sorry, I'm raging hard tonight.
They don't even tell Rude. They don't even tell Rude what's going on. I don't think he's even played a part in the transfer business, because I think we would have explored the Dutch market a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, Anil, the reason why I think so much that he has been lied to, Rude, is because I don't see him taking the job if in December or November they said to him, you're going to get 3 million, you're going to get 2-3 million quid on a fullback or whatever position you want. I just can't see him agreeing to the, with how his history of not being backed and quitting, and he says it was a big part of the negotiations in London before he signed about what would happen in January. It sounds to me like he's been screwed over, to be honest with you. And with all of this about managers not being backed and stuff, I would say that actually every manager has been backed in the summer. So if you think of Rodgers, he was backed. Ranieri, Puel, they were backed. Enzo was backed, right? He was backed. Mavididi, Hermanson, Fatawu, Winks, Cody, right? He was backed. Cooper was backed, right? I'm sorry,
believe it or not, Steve Cooper's the most backed manager of all time at Leicester City. What a world we live in.
So the only thing that, if he hasn't been lied to, there is nothing. I'm just thinking, have they said to him, right, we'll get to the summer and we'll see what we can do? But again, it's too late, and I think it would be naive of the board to think that the fans would, because you know what our fans are like, right? Even if it's the right decision or not for Rude to stay, even if we go down, the fans won't have it. The fans will say in about 2-3 weeks, if we keep losing, Rude out, get That's what happens. So it's naive.
Yeah. Same situation. History repeating itself is going to be.
Yeah. Ethan, no signers tonight. Is there any chance Leicester stay up, mate?
Oh, you know what? I think so. 17th place, here we come. Please. And if it goes wrong, we'll bring out the Stevie Wonder.
You need some blue ones there, mate.
But honestly, all optimism, I think we finished 17th on the final day because of goal difference.
Wow.
Because of goal difference.
We take it. Just before you go, Ethan, take a look at this, mate. There you go. Days without pissing off the fan base. 0.
I won't lie. This is like meme generational activity going on right now.
Well, mate, people,
we'll have a fun, then we'll get pissed at the protest, and then we'll just call it in for the rest of the season. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, mate. Right, thank you so much, mate. We'll see you soon, Ethan. Thank you for calling in, mate, as always. Much appreciated. We'll see you very soon on the channel. Thanks for joining the Hall of Rudconomics. Very much appreciated, or the class of Rudconomics. Again, if anybody just missed that, I mean, that just made me laugh. So there we go. Just a quick reminder to everybody, as Greg, a big shout out to you, Greg, in the chat, he was saying, make sure to hit like on the stream. Make sure to hit subscribe. And remember, we have our transfer deadline day live stream coming up at 9 p.m. all the way until the deadline. So stay tuned for that one. Okay, right. Let's get in our next guest. And I believe it's Clibbo. Yes, it is. Where is he? There he is. Evening, Clibbo, mate. What's going on?
Well, the same as everything else, really. It's just gone to shit. I wasn't going to phone in because I've gone beyond angry and I just don't know what to say anymore. But I have thought of a couple of questions that you can chew on. So one of them is, did the players' heads drop? Because if you look at the contrast between Spurs and Everton, it had fell off a cliff. I mean, there needs to be an inquest in that alone. Did their heads drop because they know nobody's coming in to strengthen the team, knowing that they're not good enough? They must know that. And got me thinking, with this getting off the PSR thing again, do you think there was some sort of condition agreed between the club and whoever was prosecuting that we can't sign anybody to get us off?
What do you think, Canel?
I don't think about the signing thing, no, but there's definitely something really dodgy in the account. I'm certain of it. I'm sure if an accountant would look at it, they'd be like, what the hell is this? Like, what is all this IO top 27 million or something dated for now? There's got to be something dodgy in it, which is preventing us, because every other club can do it. The fact that we can't must signify there's something wrong there. Your point about the players' heads dropping is an interesting one. I will say, I noticed that when Vestergaard went off at 60, he looked like really depressed, and he didn't look depressed like he was being taken off. He looked like he knew that he's going to get absolutely rinsed online and that he deserved it. I mean, that was a 0 out of 10 performance. I think he should have got hold of at half times. He didn't have to come on again, but it did look like one of those that if I was the manager, I would take that player out. I think a similar situation happened with Danny Ward in that 3-0 defeat where the crowd were like baying for his blood, weren't they? Right. And you could see it psychologically affected him. So it is possible. But I mean, still, it's so weak for the first two. And yeah, the players' heads did drop. And I hate to say it, but I felt that like even after 6 seconds, I was like, well, maybe we can get a 1-1, but I don't think we can win it now. And after 6 minutes, because how many times do we score? We don't score. And David Moyes is more than happy. As soon as giving him a lead, it's like, oh, this is amazing. We could just sit back and counter against this team that's toothless. They're going to try and play cute football to Vardy. Lol, we're just going to hit them on the break. So, yeah, maybe the players' heads did drop, but they shouldn't. And I always think that's like, that would be okay for you or I if we're playing like, you know, regular football on a Sunday or something, because we're not elite footballers. But if that's your career, if that's your pride, that you're training every day, oh, man, you shouldn't be like that. You'd expect to see more effort. But I think they did, yeah.
Klebo, Brookline G says here, players' heads dropped when they saw Moyes slip 2 long balls past our centre-backs. I don't think the players have given up on the club. They've given up on some of their own teammates. I mean, we've seen the lack of faith that they've got in some of their teammates when Danny Ward appeared for 2 games and the players literally, they look terrible now, but they looked 10 times worse when they had Danny Ward and net behind them. It was a joke.
Well, the thing is, I mean, technically, we can't accuse of not strengthening the team prior to selling Cannon and Alves going and etc. Because we did bring a player in. So, but I mean, we've all known that JJ has needed a little bit of time out. He looks exhausted. He looks shadow of the player that we know he can be. Now, I mean, I like JJ, but he just needs some time out of the team. And we've got a player that's played probably 20 minutes over 180. And actually, it's hard to judge whether he's any good. But what I've seen of him, he looks like he wants to penetrate. He looks like he wants to get stuck in. And he's got that injection of pace. In terms of Vestergaard, I've been a bit of an advocate of Vestergaard because of the offensive side of his game. I think if we had pacey centre-backs or a pacey defence, he's really, really, really good player to have in your team because of, you know, the penetrating passes. They may not be long passes, but they in the right system, we've seen that it can work really well. But if you ever hear me defend him again I want you to ban me from this channel, because now I never want to see. I don't want to see Fass. I don't want to see Vestergaard. I don't want to see Winks. I don't want to see Samari. I don't want to see Mavadidi. I don't want to see any of these players. And I know Manny's a big fan of Mavadidi, and that's fine, because the guy has got some qualities. But it's what I've said before. There are players in this team that have got quality on their day. But to be a Premier League player, you've got to be built a certain way, and you have to have consistency. That's what a Premier League player is. Not that you play in the Premier League. That doesn't make you a Premier League player. And I am now not. I can't defend any of these players, and I don't want it to come down to money, because it's, once you get past a certain thousand, how many thousands a week, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant to me and you guys, because we can't comprehend that kind of money coming in our accounts. But what I won't excuse is, no matter what the reason, I won't excuse what I watched and what I witnessed. I mean, Reece was there, and he did talk to, I think he said hello or whatever to Ross. It was him. But Reece came home, and I spoke to him, and he's literally done. He's not going down again this season.
I can tell.
He's not going down again this season. He's gave his season ticket to his mum. So, well, she's a season ticket holder, but he says, I'm not going again. And I think that's really sad. And it's actually quite upsetting. He's been going since he's 4 years old, and he's the same age as you locks, you know. And I'm afraid if we do get relegated, whatever sanctions or whether we get away with any, you can't seriously be selling the likes of Cannon. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty glad we've not sold
McAteer.
I forgot his name, the winger. To
Casey
Sunderland.
McAteer,
Yeah, because next season, we're going to need them. Now, this is a question I've got for you and Neil, and I'll make it brief. If we are forced to sell players next season that are on 70, 80, 90 grand a week, nobody wants to buy them, or we'd have sold them already, will the club have to, whoever they sign for, will they have to cover as compensation the wages that they're missing out on because they've had to be sold?
Yes, and that's the terrifying thing. So cast your mind back. QPR, many seasons ago, they got relegated and they had a massive wage bill, and they went to the Championship, and it basically they were forced to sell all their good, promising young players, and they were left with a bunch of mercenaries. And this is the worry, because next season, the people that are going to stick around, it's going to be Jordan Ayew, Bobby de Cordova-Reid, and Yannick Vestergaard. Those three will definitely be here. Maybe Wout Fass we can shift along. And it'll really depend on those three, like how professional they are, you know, because what if they're just another Connor Cody who didn't even really play for us in the Championship, right? So, you know, some of them, to be fair, I feel like Bobby Reid and Jordan Ayew, I think they will still put in the shift in. They don't seem like total mercenaries, but that is a worry that you do end up with that type of player who you can't shift and it just holds you back. Because yes, what's going to happen is that you're not only getting an embargo, but you're going to be put on the plan. So essentially it'll be like if Sunderland offered us 8 million next season, or even less than that, because they know that it's a fire sale, they'll say 4 million. The EFL just say, you got to sell him. And we'll go, no, we don't want to sell him for that much. He's worth this much. I say, no, you got to sell him, because the plan says, because you're in violation, because you guys cheated. So we're going to get screwed pretty hard. And as you say, the problem is that actually the players that we're more likely to lose will be some of the exciting prospects. It might be, sadly, players like Will Alves, you know, Ben Nelson and stuff like that, because people will be seeing you're going to get them for a knockdown rate than you would normally. So it's very depressing, but could happen.
And that's what's unforgivable about not. I mean, we don't know all the details of the reason why we've not signed anybody, but that's what makes it unforgivable. We've already lost Kiernan and players such like, because we've had to, whether they wanted to go or not. And I think it's an absolute disgrace. And although I won't be attending a protest, I know Reece is, I'll silently protest in my house, because I can't go and watch that anymore.
Well, do you know what, Glibbo? Can I just say, this is something I want to say to everyone on the stream, actually, right? I've been saying for a long time that the club treats us not like fans, but customers. That's literally how they treat us.
Yes.
But you, if we're considered customers, you can treat them the same way. And if you think that the product they're serving is garbage, don't buy it. I just want to say, look at me on the stream. If you ever see me wear any top from actually post 2022 on the stream, there's a reason. I refuse to do it. This season, I was thinking of doing it if we weren't so retarded, but it seemed pretty. To be honest with you, as soon as we hired Steve Cooper, I was like, I'm going to hold back on that shirt, to be honest with you, mate, and see where this goes. So I'll say that both ways. Now, look, I do get it, right? We were supposed to be our fans. You're supposed to back the boys through the good times and the bad. But like I say, you're not being treated as a fan. So I would say that, I see you guys, you come up and go, oh, look at my Bilal shirt and all this stuff. Yeah, it's a nice player and stuff like that. But I would think about that, right? If they're going to treat you like that, you should treat them back. Because I tell you what, if you hit people in the pocket, then they might be, okay, we actually got to make a change. We can't do this hiding behind the ivory tower anymore. We've got to come out and speak to the fans. It used to be like that. I
agree, 100%. And that's what
and they say they have to. They say they have to put prices up as well to comply with PSR and stuff. Well, they put the price up and they still don't comply, right? And we don't say it's a joke. Clibber, mate, again, I just want to thank you for calling, mate. Very much appreciated. Just have a look at this, though. From LCFC data, they say the mandate for the Leicester City hierarchy this January was very clear. Not straightforward, but very clear. Improve the starting 11, give the squad a much-needed boost, and restore a touch of confidence. Whilst I understand the January market is not an easy climate to work in, there can be no excuses. Clubs that needed to do business have done business. Mm-hmm. Clubs around us have done business. The powers that be have carelessly, lethargically, and arrogantly let this window slip by. And in doing so, it feels like they've accepted fate. And that is what we're saying, and isn't it? That's what you've said all day, mate. That it just feels.
Guys, look at the last game we played. What's the obvious position we need to improve?
Well, there's the right wing and the centre backs.
Mate, his centre back on Sunday was laughable. I've been saying that all season long. A blind man could see that on Sunday, and we haven't signed on. That's why we're going down. It's the obvious position. We haven't fixed it. It's not like and do you know what? It's not like we only found that out against Everton.
No.
Look at how many goals he conceded. We conceded like 60 goals or something crazy like that.
You know what the best part is as well? Wolves have signed a £20 million centre back, and then they tried to offload their dead wood, Craig Dawson, to us, and it's like, oh my! And we probably, they're like, mate, they probably considered it. I know the deal.
That would just have been a wage deficit thing. That would have been half his wages.
PSR trick.
Exactly. Right. Clibber, mate, thanks for calling in, mate. Very much appreciated. Tell Reece we said hello. And even though Reece isn't going to the games, he can always call in, mate. All right, let him know.
Sam, no worries.
See you in a bit, Clibber, mate. Cheers. Right. Up next, we have a first-time caller, I believe, and it's going to be Hunter. Let's get him in.
Hey.
Hello, mate. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
All good, all good. Where are you calling from, America?
I'm in Florida right now.
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Yeah. So, I'm guessing you've stayed tuned to all of the transfer the lack of transfer news, mate. What do you make to it all?
No, it's tough. I mean, I think it's one of those things that I've dealt with like the U.S. national team with Greg Berhalter. It's like you don't want to root against your team, but
but you wouldn't be unhappy if they lost. Yeah,
exactly. And now we have Poch, and the future looks better. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where you I don't know. Like the idea of signing a forward or someone attacking and then shut up, Fornwell.
Yeah.
No, just the idea of like, even if we did get like a Marcus Edwards or someone like that, it's just like we still have the same back four from the relegation season. It's like nothing's really changed. And I don't know, it's just something about like Wout and Vestergaard. It's just like, even if let's say they were really good, like that would have been great, but like they just don't look good. Like just from like appearance and looks, like Wout's hair and Yannick getting off like 3 inches off the ground when he jumps, like it's rough. And I don't know if that would have saved us, even if we did, because we can score 4 goals, but we're still giving up 4 from the back.
Yeah, I mean, and Neil, something that Hunter mentioned there about, we've spoken about it before, the back four being the same as what we had 2 years ago. I mean, the thing is, when we got relegated last time, obviously we were angry, right? But I know we're not a massive club, but it was a shock. It was a big surprise, and I think a lot of people were like more shocked than angry. We were like, how has this happened? But even after that relegation, there was no change at the top, even though it was quite clear that there were problems. Last season, we won the Premier League, the Championship. We were about 17 points clear at one point, and it was still evident that there were problems at the top. And now, I mean, do you think maybe that we got promoted? I saw this comment the other day. Do you think we got promoted too soon, Anil? Do you think we needed maybe a couple of years down there to kind of rebuild a little bit?
there's some logic to that, and I think it'll be interesting to see how, I'm guessing, Leeds are going to come up, how they do. But I think it's still very tough. I think the argument against that, though, is that, you know, you could do even worse because more players would leave. Like, you know, players like Ndidi, Dewsbury, Hall, and Ricardo are not doing 2 seasons in the Championship. I'm sorry, they're just not. They'll stay for once because they had some good memories. So you'd have to replace all of them. So I think we did have to come up. But it is scandalous that, like we signed a Coley. That signing on paper made sense, but it's just we didn't go hard enough for that type of signing. And I was surprised at the time that we only spent 15 million euros on the centre back, because it's just so obvious that, like, we've done it before. Like, remember when we bought Wesley Fofana? That was like 32 million or something. That was so much to spend. And it's like, to spend this much, this guy must have to be properly good. And literally after about 2 minutes, like, well, do you know what? I think he might be properly good because he's fast. He can jump like a salmon out of a river. He's heading everything. He's winning it. He's good on the ball. And, you know, after 3 games, people were saying, oh my God, this is a fantastic signing by the club. I don't know why. Basically, they had to go harder, and that's the weird thing, like with this Skip and a Coley thing. But again, it just comes to the director of football. Like, you just know that that's a slow backline, and Fass has played in the Premier League and makes mistake after mistake after mistake. So that is, well, someone put it in the comments earlier. Shawnee said, like, we basically gave the money to the wrong manager. So I think it all started there. I mean, you could say that we were unlucky. I mean, what would have happened if Chelsea got Kieran McKenna instead of Enzo Maresca? I think we'd be in a better position now. I don't think it'd be rosy. I think we'd still be in a... It's gone lots, so as I'm rambling here.
We've got some major breaking news. Leicester City have approached Roma to sign Sula on loan.
Really?
Fabrizio Romano.
Wow.
Fabrizio Romano has reported that Leicester City have approached AS Roma to sign Matheus Sula on loan. Negotiations ongoing for a dry loan until the end of the season. So just no obligation, no option. Just that. Obviously, Sula was heavily linked with Leicester in the summer. He chose Roma over Leicester, but he has had a shocking start to time in Roma.
That means Buonanotte is going back 100%.
Do you think we might bring him in and then send him back? Or is it McAteer's replacement that we heard about earlier today? We heard
maybe, but I tell you what, I can see Manny's just piped up in the chat. He's thinking transfer deadline show. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, finally something to talk about.
The thing is, though, not being funny thing, but Matheus Sula is not going to head the ball away when Everton pump it 60 yards down the pitch, right? So
Ranieri bailing us out like Enzo did in the
Hunter. What do you think we should do in terms of signings then, if we did?
2 center backs.
Yeah, this guy gets it. He knows ball.
I think it was funny that we were in for the Milan center back, the Serb, and because he wasn't getting play time and he wasn't playing great, and then he has a man of a match performance in the Champions League, and then he's been starting every game since, and it's just like, I feel like that's how it goes for us. It's like we might be in for someone.
I'm gonna have to do something really fucking shit now, by the way, guys. Someone's created a troll Fosshub account.
Oh,
someone's created a troll Fosshub account.
He's got trolled locks.
Loads of people have just started tweeting it. And someone's made a troll Fosshub account. That's annoying. Well, anyway, there we go. Manny, sorry lads, sorry mate. There we go. So after that, Hunter, we're not signing Sula, mate. So we ain't getting a winger. So there we go. After all of that.
Do you think it'll be a situation if we do go down where we're down there and we're chilling like a Norwich, Watford, and we're just because I guess the idea of like, if we're going down, EFL is just like ready to destroy us, and it's like, wouldn't we want to just then take the risk of taking the point deduction?
Let me take this on, Lux, if you don't mind. I think that is definitely the worry, and I think it could happen for a few years. But I think the one thing you should remember about Leicester is that if you look at like the average positions of Leicester across like the whole history of the club, they've basically ranked 21 in the entire league. What does that mean? That basically means that we're the Man City of the Championship. So we've actually won the champion. Yeah, we're a yo-yo club, but it means that even when things are bad, and it could be bad for a while, it's likely that at some point you will still put it together. And I'm just saying this because I'm one of those fans that I saw the club get relegated to League One. Some of us were around there, and that was it. If you think this is bad, let me tell you, that was pretty awful, right? And then we came to the Championship, and then Vichai bought the club, and they started spending money, and we still didn't get up, and Dini Day and all this sort of stuff. But it still felt that, like, even though I have to say after Dini Day, I was like, man, it's never going to happen, is it? We actually did it the next season. But I just think Leicester's one of those clubs that it does have pull. especially with the academy, that we will put it together eventually. What I will say, the counterpoint though, is that the worry is you've got teams like Wrexham and Birmingham now that have got American owners that are trying to moneyball their way up through the league, and they will take advantage of it. So next season, they cannot wait to do that, by the way. And what's clear with Leicester, in my opinion, the demise is that we got it right 10 years ago, but then other teams realized that they had to get as smart as us. I think really what it showed everyone, the reason we won the league is we made 3 world-class signings for under 10 million. N'Golo Kante, Riyad Mahrez, Jamie Vardy. So people realize that's how you win in football. You've got to find those players before anyone else and get them, because it can turn your fortunes around. And then we lost Steve Walsh. We haven't really replaced that properly. Other teams have got way smarter, and now we can't do it. And that's the thing, is I think those teams have got better people, and we've got the same old dinosaurs there. I don't necessarily think those people have to leave, although they should have done, but they need to hire some more people that are like got younger, more forward-thinking ideas that can recognize that sort of stuff. Like, people keep saying it. Why aren't we scouting the South American market? Don't know. Why don't we use the Belgian feeder club to sign players on loan, develop them, and then buy them on the cheap? Don't know. That's what all the other teams are doing. You might not like it, but that's what they're doing. That's what the successful teams do, and that's why they're successful. We're not.
There we go. There we go. Hunter, mate, thank you so much for calling for the first time, mate. If you can, in future, mate, make sure to call back, because it's been good having you, mate. All right?
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Respect it. Bye.
Thank you, Hunter, mate. Cheers. Thank you so much. Right, up next, we've got 2 callers left. No more callers after that. 2 more, and it's going to be Joe, and then it's going to be Distant 99. Last time Joe was on, he said some very kind words to me and Anil, so let's see if he's got anything to... No, I'm joking. No pressure. Even
proper late. He's going to feel guilt now if he doesn't say something. I like what you did there, Locks. You got to...
Actually, by the way, before I do that, sorry, just another update, an actual update this time, not fake news. Jason Bourne from TalkSport, as it stands right now, being told not to expect any incomings or major outgoings at Leicester City this evening. So I think that is probably what's going to happen anyway. But anyway, let's get Joe in. Hello, mate. What's going on?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I did say some lovely things about your channel last time. I'm going to be a bit of a dampener, because every time I seem to log on to your onto your account and watch your games, we can see literally against Everton, I think I missed the first 5 minutes. I was like, I wonder what the score is. And I logged into you saying, and it's 2-0. I was like,
Yeah.
2-0? What?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'm going to have to block you now, aren't I?
That's it. It must be bad luck. No, but in all seriousness, guys, what I'm going to say is, I'm going to phrase it like this. I feel as if our best days this season have come off the pitch and in a courtroom. That's all I'm going to say, because I just feel like, we had that uplift of Tottenham. I thought, okay, let's see what we can do against, an albeit improved Everton under Moyes. But I thought, you know what, we've shown some fight, and then just to put that performance in, I was just like, I can't anymore. I can't do it. I can't watch this club anymore. I can, and I will. I'll force myself to, with toothpicks under my eyelids. But I just the whole thing is a mess. It's an absolute mess, and it's getting to me, lads. It's getting to me. But yeah, I mean, what's your take on the situation? I've obviously listened to the entire show tonight, and I kind of know, but it just, I just heard Anil say that it can't, hopefully it will be a Norwich or a Watford for a couple of seasons. We might go back down to League One. You don't know how hard they're going to hit us. I've been there. I saw it. I've seen it, and it's got that feel to it. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw this. I mean, Courtroom FC, Interested FC, Inquired FC. I mean, yeah, all of those things. You're probably right, mate. I mean, it's actually quite funny because Wolfie from Forest Fan TV made a joke at the start of the season saying that he thinks that Nick DeMarco will win more points this season than Steve Cooper. What did Steve Cooper end up winning? Was it 11, 9, 10? I can't remember how many points Steve Cooper got.
I think it was 10.
Okay, so there we go. So he might have just beaten Nick DeMarco, but in all seriousness, you're right, mate. The news that we escaped PSR the first time and the news that we escaped PSR this time are probably the most buzzing moments that we've had, other than Cooper getting sacked. So I don't know what you think, Anil, mate. It's been a horrid season.
Yeah, I mean, the happiest we've looked on the stream is when Steve Cooper got sacked, and that's how depressing. You shouldn't be, celebrating a man's dismissal, but it felt like maybe a way out of it. Yeah, it's probably depressing. I think, though, for me, still compared, I think, to everyone else here in the stream, is just that I still ultimately, I think, at the start of the season, somewhat braced myself for it. I've been saying all season long that basically, if you just look at the overall quality of the squad, our squad is really poor. And it just keeps getting shown up. Like the players aren't very good. That's a fact. Look at the defenders. There's a reason why when he was in the Premier League, Yannick Vestergaard, he was playing for a relegation struggling Southampton. Every season they were struggling. He never played from that season where they finished 5th when we won the league. He weren't there. So yeah, it was always going to be possible that we could go down. Whereas the previous time we went down in 2022, that squad was mid. A squad of Yuri Tillemans, Harvey Barnes, James Maddison, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall, Ricardo Pereira, Jamie Vardy. That should have been nowhere near where that position was, but it did go down. So I kind of made my peace of it. But the way that it's happening, and as I say, I just think today more than ever, it's this, isn't it? It's the white flag. It's the fact that this lack of activity, while Wolves are going to end up having signed two centre backs and a CDM, is a sign of a club that wanted to stay up and a club that doesn't care.
I'll just say this on the one signing we have made. Our defence is so poor, everyone can see it. And the one signing we have made, which is a defender, obviously a fullback, hasn't really played for us or started for us. And it's just kind of, I'd be sitting there if I was him. We don't see him in training. I understand that he's got to bed himself in, but I'd be sitting there going, come on, I'm better than these guys. You know what I mean? I'm better than these lads. And it's the fact we haven't seen him. It's just, I don't know. And as for the board and everything up top, I'm not going to go into that because I'd be ranting for about 15 minutes. But yeah, this January transfer window and this season in general has been atrocious. You've got to go for it. And if you're not, you're going to go down, and then you're going to get absolutely, excuse my French, we're going to get absolutely fucked by the EFL. So
I agree, mate. I agree. By the way, Middlesbrough have just brought Kelechi Iheanacho onto the pitch as well at the Riverside. So he just signed on loan. I know people don't like him. Some people say he's unfit and all of this stuff, but I ain't being funny. On a loan, dry loan for 6 months, it's another man in the squad. That's all I'm saying. So, but anyway,
we knew of a striker, and that's obvious.
Well. That's it, mate. That's it. A different type of striker as well. Right, Joe, thank you for calling, mate.
Cheers,
Much appreciated.
Thanks,
We'll see you
Joe.
very soon. Cheers, Joe. We've got our last caller, Distant 99, coming on in just a second. Chester Leicester says, I miss Iheanacho. That's how bad we are. Off the back of Jason Bourne's tweet, I think it's a good time to just have this again. There we go. Okay, let's get on. Again, I think it's a first-time caller, and it's his nickname here is Distant99. So let's get him in. How's it going, mate?
Hi from Ukraine, actually. Yeah.
Wow, respect, man.
Thanks for an opportunity to participate in your discussion. Though
Absolutely,
I'm just my English isn't so perfect. Though I would try. Yeah,
it's all good, mate. It's all good. So, I know what are your thoughts, mate, on everything Leicester City at the moment, because it's crazy.
I was during all the season. I was sitting with this poker face, watching the same squad, the same scheme, the same mistakes, the same players, and I was thinking about how to improve this starting 11 with the options that is available. Because I understand about the PSR, about the situation with contract Van Nistelrooy, that we can't fire him just because, So I think the scheme should be a 3-4-2-1. So we should play like with three center backs, but with Christensen, I think he's not so fast and not technical enough to be a left back, but he's good at tackling and clearing the ball. And he's pretty tall, I think, to play as center back. So why not? Akoli for sure. Akoli and Koulibaly as a right center back. So he's tall. He's even taller than Christensen, and he's fast. It's I think when we play FIFA and even in real life, it's the key point of defender for being fast. So William Saliba is fast, and he is great. He can stop Holland, for example, just because of his speed. And that's my suggestion about the defense. So no Westergaard, no Cody. Fast is also a nightmare. Fast is just like so. Please take him away from me. But he's I think he's one sub that can be this substitution possible because Cody, Westergaard, they are so slow. They are just slow. They can't keep this lineal when they're offside. And midfield, Mavididi for sure. When last game when he came to the pitch, so we saw this momentum, this progress he gave. So why is he sitting on the bench? So that's my question. So Mare, Ndidi for sure, it's midfield, and right midfielder, it's Justin. I think he can't be playing in defense anymore. So just take him away from the defense, please. But I think he has enough speed and he's good at crossing and a bit of dribbling. His crosses and even his goals, we remember Arsenal. I think it can be prolific in the as a right midfielder. And sure, El Canus and Buonanotte is central attacking midfielders, and Jamie Vardy and maybe Patson Daka as a sub. And that's all. So I think the Foxes shouldn't rely on possession, and it has to be some sharp attacks. So it's only way to survive here. So one more thing, and just finish. I was searching for some free agents on the market. So I see Daniel Amity. I do think it's a great. A great revival of this player, I should say. But I see Ryan Kent. I see Brendan Williams as a left back. Yeah, why not? 2 millions. We can afford this. Why not?
Is there no Ukrainian wonder kids that are out there that we could sign?
I was going to say, what about the guys from Shakhtar and Dynamo? Like, what about what's his name, Matvienko? Is he the captain for Shakhtar?
No, he's from Shakhtar Donetsk. So I've seen that Anton Brashko, he was supposed to be transferred to some Premier League club. But Talavero, he transferred to Plymouth. And for sure we have Eliazar Barn, such people like Mikolenko and some other. Alexander Zinchenko, why not being left back, our left back, why not? So he's sitting on a bench. I know he's not the best age, his best form, maybe ages, but I think he's good enough to be led back for such club as Leicester City.
I've got a question for you, mate. Yes or no? Will Leicester City stay up? Yes or no?
It's
be honest, you don't have to. You could say no.
Question, we should be flexible when we see this same squad in all these games. So why Mr. Roy isn't flexible, and can't he prepare for each game directly? So each game should be be prepared as a direct, as a extra game. It's
mate.
Why the same scheme, the same?
Yeah, the tactics, strategy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
hear you. I hear you, mate, completely.
I think it's forbidden when you are playing in Premier League.
Well, some
Crazy.
teams do it. Some teams do it, mate. Some teams do it.
Yeah.
Mate, I want to thank you so much for calling, mate, for the first
Yeah,
time.
100%.
It's very much
Yeah,
appreciated.
thank you for the opportunity.
No, make sure to call again, mate. Call again. We're here every Monday, 7:00, and you've got a lot of love in the chat as well. People are saying, good.
Yeah, and
good
quickly,
opinions.
your suggestion is good. You're right. Like,
Yeah,
why play this?
One more thing. So I don't know whether you can convey some messages to some Leicester officials. It would be nice just to
Yes.
for them to hear this. Maybe they
Yeah.
consider some of this. Yeah.
We wish. I'll keep trying, mate, but they don't want to hear it, mate.
I wish Leicester the best, and Van Nistelrooy is one of my favorite players from the past. But as a manager, so he should improve. He should improve something. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you, mate. No, thank you for calling, mate. Very much appreciated. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much. There we go, Anil. That is the end of today's call-in show, the Rodkinomics show. But we are all going to be back here. We're going to be back taking turns. We'll all be chipping in. There'll be Josh. There'll be a couple others as well. Transfer deadline day live at 9:00. Who's the caller of the day there, Anil?
I'm actually going to... No, it's got to be him at the end. It's got to be Distant 99 calling from Ukraine. I'm going to just say big thanks to all the international callers, though. So I'll say, if not him, it could have been Hunter. And if not him, I really like Ethan's call tonight as well. So international Foxes, massive respect, because to support this team right now, when you could choose from all those other teams, is massive respect. And yeah, I think that's one of the aims of Blue Tinted Glasses, isn't it? It's to connect the worldwide fan base to Rodkinomics, so you can see the King Power Stadium on fire all day, every day, which is what it is these days.
There we go. Right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you to Anil as well. Thanks to all the commenters. There's been loads of comments. There's been over 500 people watching on Twitter and YouTube and all of that. So very much appreciated. We will see you again. We will see you at 9 p.m. in less than an hour. Transfer deadline day live. And if you want something to fill your time between now and then, Jacob Horseful, who's contributed in bits to the channel before and does a lot less stuff. I'm going on his channel literally now. So type in @Jacob Horseful on YouTube, and I will be there in literally 90 seconds. So I'll see you there. And we'll see you very soon, mate, as well. See you in an hour or so, or however long it is. And